Hi, my name is Yogi Arjun. I am going to talk something on basically what is my understanding and experience of yoga. So basically, if I define the word yoga, there is no word as yoga. It is later on which word has come in. Yoga is union. Now, union, as you understand, there are like 5-10 people joining together and working for a cause. Is union. So similarly, we have multiple aspects of a body. So we have our body, which has 200 plus bones, lots and lots of muscles, tissues, and cells, and so on. And then the other aspect is the subtle aspect. There is one more which is breathing, body, breath, and then comes the thought process, the emotion aspect. So body, breath, mind. Now, if I tell you these three things, mind, and whenever you are doing some work, you will notice that your mind is somewhere else and you're trying to finish some work. So you are actually in your future or suffering your past. So the fundamental of yoga is to get this three in equilibrium to work for a cause. So what helps you in that is your consciousness. You're consciously trying to work and at a particular place with all these three fundamental elements of yours. So if I go a little more deeper and divide it into four aspects, it's body, breath, and mind. I can divide it into two aspects. One is your thoughts, one is your emotions. Emotions are more of how what kind of thoughts you have tend to get into certain feelings, and that feelings go into the right side or the left side, which is positive or negative. And the problem is because we are worrying of future, and either we are in past suffering or we are worrying about future. So that's where this whole problem starts, and you're not there in the present anytime. So the fundamental definition of yoga is to be in present, in union of all these things under your consciousness. So when I say conscious, you understand what is conscious, where you're completely aware that what is going on right now, and what is your situation right now. What will happen in future doesn't matter. What has happened in past doesn't matter. You have lesson, you have planning, but the planning becomes worrying when you start to imagine the negative aspect that this might not go, that might not. So which is this is infinite. There is no limit to that. So as I said, yoga is union, where you're saying that I do my work in the present moment with my utmost skill without worrying about my results. So that is you. So this is what we have to practice on daily basis. There is no end to this. It is regular practice because your mind might pull you towards your senses. Consciousness you have to bring back your mind to your work. So if I give you in a subtle aspect, there are five senses which you all know. Above that, as soon as your mind starts, the first thing comes is this five senses is connected to your mind, which is only doing perception work, which is synthesizing what has happened. Like your eyes, when you look at something, the mind, without the mind, you will not be able to look at. Looking and seeing is two different things. Hearing and listening is two different things. I can hear a lot of sounds. There is birds, there is bird sound outside. But my complete focus is right now where my mind is. So mind is just a synthesizing faculty. Then above that there is ego. Ego is just your identity. Nothing taken as a wrong, right ego, wrong ego. Your identity, where this ego is trying to secure you or give fear to you that this is can happen, and that analysis with the perception comes. Above that is buddhi. Buddhi is where your wisdom comes in picture, your past experiences comes in picture, your understanding comes in picture, where you know that the consequence of this is right or wrong, or something like this is right or wrong. So if I give you an example, a person who is hungry for a long time, his buddhi says that but stealing is not good for health as well as for the being. But still he goes and do theft because his mind and ego says I need to survive and there is no other option. I am again not going to do the right and wrong aspect, but there are ways where buddhi is only applied that he can go to some nearby trees or somewhere. He can do some sort of work. In today's world, it is absolutely big no, because it's the most best time of the humankind where you don't have to fight for anything. Just do little bit of hard work and you have as much money that you can eat your food and suffice your needs. But the problem is the needs are unlimited. So that is where the problem starts. Now coming back about buddhi is your consciousness. Consciousness is ever existing, everlasting. It is always in the present moment. It is of no form, shapeless. It is all over your being. So when we say that the Lord in the divine Lord, where most of our humankind pray to some Lord, the Lord is nothing but the consciousness, which is the smallest element or smallest atom of that super consciousness. This consciousness is what brings life to us, and which has to be always in present, and which this body is to serve that consciousness. But the problem is the consciousness is subtle. It's like a flower sitting somewhere in the corner. The mind, the ego takes over and tries to control the body, and that is where this disequilibrium happens, and the person is not at ease, and being not at ease is what brings disease. So you have to focus on your present and look at every moment as if there is what has happened was in the past. I will keep on trying my best. That is, I'll give my 100% effort. These are the principles I follow. I will not ignore it, irrespective of my surrounding pressure, environment. I am not going to let it go. I'll plan my food habits. I'll daily do some sort of exercise. I'll make sure that this is what is being followed in my daily life. And once you start to practice this, it's very simple. If I give you an example of a sportsman, a badminton player or a cricketer, a badminton player has to smash. His deltoid muscle is not strong enough. If a cricketer has to do a cover drive, his movement is not swift enough as compared to this man. So what he does practice, right? So that develops those muscles and it becomes muscle memory. And suddenly one fine day after 4, 5, 6 months, you start to work. And that is how you have to work your mind also. There is no way skipping that if you are not conscious, you will not be able to control your mind. If you are not in control of your mind, you will be always in distress. So the purpose of life is to control this mind. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Which means I have to bring the mind till it is completely stopped. Because unnecessary thoughts keep on popping and the consciousness gets sucked into it and suddenly you are absolutely lost. And you get into those anxious moments, you get sucked into those sensuous pleasure. It is not that the body has its need, but the problem is when you are free, and today's generation we are absolutely free because you travel in auto, bike, car, bus, you are sitting idle. Previous generation, 5, 50, 100 years back, they used to walk everywhere. So they have to be alert with the animals. They are more conscious being. A poor person is more conscious because he has to work in the present. He is more aware of the present because he has to sustain his daily life for the food he eats. But a person who is already equipped with, basic amenities with the grace of God, he is always in distress. So work on this. It helps. This is my personal experience. I don't talk anything from the book, and it is coming to a state where the state of mind is permanent rather than distorted. I hope this video will help you to work upon. And if any comments, please feel free to share. I will be very happy to add something more to this. Thank you.